first thing that we do have a form, and why don't we store it as one sheet of no cost and workstation so that they can do their presentation first, if that's okay with all of you. Why don't we start with picking pickups on my picking with on the same too.
And your comment is PPACG.
Aaron Doucette, El Paso County Public Health.
As it was spec'd out for 1,000 gallons per day, it served a small building with like 3 occupants. Now, as we're hooking up other buildings to it with a big increase in occupants. So that's the reason why we're here. The change is, for the pumps is that we're replacing the pumps at this point with higher capacity pumps, and we're putting in emergency storage, overflow storage. So that's like 1,500 gallons of storage, emergency storage. That was at the criteria for emergency storage is changing. As we have spoken to the state engineers about that, and they have a new simple criteria for what you need, and they say is that one pump running all out for an hour is the amount of emergency storage you should have. So that's what we designed till we have like 1,500 gallons in emergency storage, and another couple hundred in the wet well and in the. Okay, because we had a question about power backup or emergency notification. Well, we don't have any generator at the site, but is that the site is in a semi-secure area where the special forces are, and they check their buildings every 3 hours on weekends and evenings. Because it does have a light, a flashing light, and of course an alarm, and we feel that would be sufficient. We do have a notification sign there to our work order desk, which is manned 24/7, and they can call in the help that we would need, and they can respond to a vac truck within 1 hour. They're standard. Okay, that's about it. Do you have any other questions on that, or?
Well, there's no solar field line there at all?
No, it's just a small lift station.
And then you indicated that this is as the need. I mean, are you going to plan on increasing it again?
It's sort of filled in that whole area now. I don't know if we can put any more buildings on that one lift station. We have another lift station. It's a hilly terrain if you ever go down to Boston area, special forces area. So we have several lift stations, unfortunately, because we have to pump up and lift down there. So. Yes, sir.
What's the calculated time for the emergency response to that should that lift station go down?
Well, if the alarm is called in to the work order desk, if it's on at night or weekend, they will call someone in to come and respond with the vac truck. In the meantime, we have an operator at the plant who can be called, and he will report to the site and determine the extent of the problem.
The emergency capacity of the lift station itself.
Oh, it's like 1,500.
So how much time would it take for that?
Well, is that the criterion that we use with it's the hour for one pump to operate for one pump at maximum capacity operates for an hour. And I think that the calculation, I believe, was 1,486 gallons. And we feel that we have, we have 1,486 gallons in the emergency storage. Because I think that the calculated capacity requirement is like 1,750, but we feel we have enough storage in it for that well, and then the plumbing to hit on that other 250 gallons.
So your response time is an hour for your vac truck?
That's the standard. Yes, Pete.
Yeah, I think, and we went over this, sorry, we did went over this last week, asked many of these same kinds of questions, focusing on shutdown and back on all those questions. That's good to hear them here as well.
Okay.
And what we were hearing, what I'm hearing is that because this is in a manned location 24/7, light goes off, somebody's going to know about it, and we have the ability to respond to it. But related to that, I recall asking something like, well, what if we can't respond for a day or two? What are the consequences of that? It's not like this is serving the residential community. Could you simply shut the thing down if you had to?
Oh,
for a couple days.
Oh, yeah, right. They could be turned off. We could turn off the water to the buildings and feed it, obviously.
In the building to feed it, as I recall, it's simply waste, laboratory waste. There's not a kitchen, nobody's sleeping in these facilities, so you could still run your operations even if this thing went down for a day. It would be inconvenient.
Well, there might be a small kitchen in one of the buildings, but I just a probably the buildings there, all the buildings except one wouldn't even be occupied on them. Yeah.
So even if you couldn't respond at a timely manner, in the worst case, am I correct?
Yeah.
You would just shut it down and turn off the water, so you wouldn't have sewage running everywhere.
That's correct.
And there'd really be an inconvenience for people.
Yeah. Well, with actually with the windstorm a couple of weeks ago, we were out of power for over a day anyhow. But,
Anybody else have any questions? Is there a motion to approve this lift station? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor, say aye. 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 Those opposed, say nay. You're approved. Whoop, no. Okay, you're all set, Harold, so on to the next committee.
well, as the future holds like two more lift station upgrades that we'll be
Right.
doing.
One's
Right.
on my desk. That'll be the next cycle. Thank you.
And you have the porta potties that can't be blown over, right?
Well, there was one outside of my office that was sort of, I lost its door and was,
Wow.
and it wasn't supposed to be there in the first place. I don't know where it came from.
Yeah, it probably blew in from Teller County.
Maybe.
Okay, so let's see, item 2 on our agenda is approval of the agenda itself and of the minutes. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Mr. Chairman, I got one correction.
Yes. Oh, go ahead.
It's
Okay.
It's just the attendees list, it's the correct one, not correct affiliation. We've got me down working for you.
Oh, we forgot to send you a check.
Or maybe he works for you.
Yeah, where's my check?
So just correct it from my.
Okay, so the motion, we need a motion to accept the agenda and the minutes with that change of Jim Heckman working for Fountain Sanitation District. Is that correct, Jim? Yes, and not for Monument Sanitation District. Is there a motion to accept the agenda and approve the minutes? Okay. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. Next thing is officer nominations. So it's that time of year.
I don't have record. I'm sure it's not Rich's fault. It's probably right beyond the name. I said it to a point. Record of when the last nominations were made and approved, so I understand from a lot of sources that it was probably 3 years ago-ish, and I believe the terms are 3 years, so I judge it time to do this. Welcome to bring forward the
Presently, I'm the chairman, and second vice chair. Okay, so yeah. So I leave everything up to this committee. If you have a nomination, please put it forward for the chairman or for the vice chair and second vice chair or all of the above or whatever.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to move a white ballot of existing officers.
I would second that
If drafted, you will not serve, if elect, whatever.
I would like to withdraw. I have some personal stuff going on that I don't want to make commitments, like this is a really big commitment, but I just want to kind of withdraw.
You're doing such a great job.
We kicked this around at our last meeting, and I think the meeting before last meeting, I brought it up. I think it's time to review this, because the plan that we are operating on is operating the previous plan, and I think it's time to do this just in light of hearing. So, I'm willing, and I think it comes with my position, to shoulder the primary responsibility of doing this, and I'd like to ask you, since most of you have been through this before, what do you see as the time frame? How much help can I get? What do you see as my role? What do you expect from me? From this. I'll send a link to the person.
I think, one, in reviewing the 208, it'll give Pete and all of us an idea of what we're dealing with, and then from that, we can make written comments and send them to Pete on what we see in the 208 that we think should change, or any type of suggestions. And Pete, you have access to all of the water management associations, water quality management associations, Upper Monument, Lower Fountain, and whatnot. So, you know, if you need to talk to any of us, we're happy to give you input on that. I would also think that the state of Colorado would give you some support too. And you're more, you know, yes.
Spend an hour doing pricing.
Right, right.
Perhaps there's no need to.
Right.
But this check again, this needs to be, they need to approve basic operations.
Right.
Make sure that we're doing like that.
Okay.
And I think as far as potential environmental next things, I think first what I would like to do is wade into this, wade into the weeds for a few months, and I'd like to fully understand the scope of, you know, the length and breadth of the process. In fact, in many ways, look at this. Some
try it out, and, you know, rebuild it,
But I know the membership, so that's my thinking.
The thing that's where most of us have
He's going to be using that.
And the other side of it is I think when you go up there, you might plan on a day at the division. The downside of going up there right now is they're in a real state of flux. They don't have anybody if you haven't seen the slides, just like on what's going on with 3117, they briefed 4 options at the second stakeholder work group of how they might implement interim values or not in 2022 or not, or in 2027 or not. Change 31 and then bring it down through each of the 8 basins or not, or implement them all in 2028 in every basin simultaneously, which is a new precedent. So in terms of the response times and whatever you write about long-range planning, it might have to be vague in the short term. So you can look at it and decide whether now's the time or it could be another year before you really want to get serious about finalizing it. But I think there's enough things in there, and there's so many new things to look at. They've got so many new wish lists up there, and we'll see whether Pruitt will do it or not. And then,
Well, this thing can be written, it's up to us how we do it, so we can make a document that's current as of today. And someday we're going to get away from paper.
yeah. The one thing that caught my eye was reading Harold's thing, was what was going on with selenium. That surprised me that you could be vulnerable for selenium with I&I. That I'd never heard that one before.
Well, that's a big part of Nancy's problem.
Well,
The
I know it was down there, but
here,
last
yeah.
time I
Oh,
looked,
yeah.
you're uphill from the
Yeah.
from the racetrack.
The selenium mines.
So
this
that's the only
document
thing.
could be a state of the current status, current state of our systems and regs. And then every year, I, or whoever's in my position, perhaps me,
Yep.
can do an annual update, a 3 to 5 pager, what's current and coming. So, this thing doesn't have to get so much dust on it. So just a way to keep it.
And then the other thing that surprised me was when we did the church camp thing about whether or not they could have more people show up there, up behind the drag race track up in Denver. I was surprised that we were invited to play in that. So I think the first thing you might look at is just process and do that sort of thing before you start worrying about individual regulatory things, because I think that's going to be a moving target. And focus on the stuff that is likely to last the longest, so we can all play in that, and everybody else can come back with their specifics. I don't know how you deal with some of the issues. And Jim lives in the desert, and we live in the mountains.
Since we have a consulting engineer here, I'd just like to ask Roger, I know you've been involved with this process several times over the years. Do you have anything you want to advise us or suggest?
I fully agree that I think everybody here can do it as a cooperative effort. I don't think you need a consultant to do that.
Okay.
think Pete's got all the graphics capability and the production capability. We just need to provide him the input.
Okay, any other further discussion on this 208 issue?
One other question.
I think we're looking at a year, and I think,
A draft?
yes, and I think Jim's could take 2 years, but I think,
Have something substantial 12 months from now.
yes, yeah.
A solid 75% draft.
I think so, yeah.
Something like that.
And we may have it sooner than that, depends on if you send out the email with the link, and if everybody finds some time to look over the 208, get suggestions to Pete, it may be sooner than that. We may have a 208 that's just fine, and we just say, that's it.
A basic bureaucratic thing, do you expect any restructuring in the building with the changeover? I tried to make that as open-ended and nebulous as possible. Will you, is it going to change, you anticipate a change in the way the 208 plan is administered locally?
Not to
in the
my
basin?
knowledge, not to my knowledge. Just, I am trying to launch some things like in the Fountain Creek District, and I'm looking at all so I'm presently trying to pull back on a few things so that I can, there are 3 areas that I would like to focus on. This being preeminence, number one, I want to get some things off my plate so that I can do this well. Number 2, and this is related to that, by the end of this year, I want to have an environmental and natural resource portal on our website that will be a destination of choice where people can go and find things that matter to them with respect to where they get the water quality, drinking water quality, utility information, air quality information, stream water quality, things of that nature. There's nothing like that now. I want to create that. And thirdly, I'm also getting involved assisting the city with sustainability within their own internal operations, sustainability.
Too fast for everyone?
I mean, probably not for all.
I throw a softball to Roy about, do you have any sense of the growth and autonomy of AFCUR?
Yeah, no.
There was a discussion at the last PPRWA meeting with no conclusion.
Right, and I don't really see things changing dramatically unless
Okay,
people see a need.
okay.
So I don't think we're too far from where we need to be.
I'm just speaking for me. I'm hoping that AFCUR has finished its roles and missions growth spurt, and that we have some way of achieving admin that's cost effective, so that he doesn't have to do
We're getting
stuff.
a little bit off the 208 discussion here.
I know, but it's whether or not,
I understand.
it's about what his timeline is
Right.
and how many things we're gonna ask him to do over the next year.
Okay, anything else on 208? No? All right, let's move on to our next item I can't read there.
Next meeting.
Items?
Items for next.
Okay, yeah, items for the next water quality management. We're just talking about. Is that something you want to?
Could I ask members to, I'll just ask, there'll be a few things we'll do in the next meeting. If there's something in the next few days, send it, put it on the agenda. But one of them will be, Harold has another lift station, and that's on my desk now, so that'll be queued up for our next meeting. Us continuing this discussion a little bit, and other things of interest to you. We do need to, but the main reason to meet next week is for this lift, or next month, is for another lift station at the Fort Carson. So,
And do we want to have any further discussion on what you and Troy were talking about at the next meeting for how things are going with water and the after thing?
We'll probably know more in a month, I would
Okay,
think.
so we'll have that on the agenda?
okay?
How about an update or a discussion rather than try and put a suspense or a decision on it? I think it's open.
Just an update, yes.
It's just hard for wastewater districts that don't have water responsibilities to know what's happening at PPRWA. That's the only truth.
Mr. Chairman, can we also put the bylaws on there? Some of these, maybe they're obsolete, or just, some of them just don't make sense as far as, like section 4 of this term of membership, it says technically we're only supposed to serve for 3 years, and then it's appointed by somebody else. So, I mean,
That's where I got that.
I've been on it for 100, so. And I know some of us
It's only
have.
100 meetings. Jim.
Right.
You know, but-
Yeah, we can't lose you. That's dumb.
But maybe if we can just get into this a little bit more next meeting.
Okay, so add the bylaws to
Yeah,
the,
just
and would you
Yes.
also make sure that we all get a copy of the bylaws in an email? That can be emailed, that's a small enough document.
Yeah.
And, okay, thank you, Jim. Any other items that you can think of? Okay, member announcements. Do we have any member announcements?
We do.
Go ahead.
Bill Burke's turned on the total phosphorus chemical remover clarifier expansion. And he got it down to 0.5 milligram per liter. So if he can do that, while it's brand new, in the cold, we seem to be able to do that. I don't know how much that means for anybody else. Everybody else has different
Is it
kinds
ferric,
of,
by the way, or is it
wastewater
alum?
going
Is
down
it
the
ferric
pipe.
or alum that you're
Alum.
using? It's alum you're using?
Yeah, it's
Is it expensive? That's the other question.
it's gonna, well, the plant, initial Tetra Tech told us it was gonna be $1 million when we got $1 million grant.
No, the chemicals.
And then the chemicals bill is estimated at $200,000 a year.
That's what I was afraid of, okay.
But they're thinking it may be 125 to 150. And that's, what's nice is that Bill is getting used to this treatment, and he will fine tune it,
Well, with that,
and, right, and possibly throttle it back, and, anyway. And it's a 12-month median average, rolling median average that we have on 1 milligram per liter. So,
exposed, and maybe we'd like to come up and take a look sometime.
Oh, that'd be wonderful. Bill would, we would all appreciate that up our way, and I know Bill would like to show it off.
Very good.
So let's tell Bill about that. Send
And
an
what I'd
invite.
also suggest, if you're thinking about that, you want to get your foot in the door for a chemical treatment. Because BioP doesn't work on it very well, and it certainly has more problems up here at cold temperatures and high altitudes and dry climates. They're better suited to work in swamps. Mindy May never understood the difference in that back 4 years ago when we were coming up with Reg 85 and Reg 31.
Anyone else have an announcement of anything new in their districts or towns? Okay. Let's see. Are there any other matters that anyone would like to discuss? Being none, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you all for coming.
Not on my next one.
Sorry, Jim. I just cut that conversation short.
Mike did a wonderful job.